Congratulations on the film. What is it like to be here at the Los Angeles premiere?
Well, I guess it's exciting. I mean, it's good to, get an audience. That's the main thing. So, yeah.
How was it reuniting with Peter Jackson, returning to Middle Earth, but now in this entirely new form?
Well, it's always a pleasure to go back to Wellington and work with Pete and the extraordinary team. What's exciting about this one for me is that Middle Earth was 5 films. This is a completely different one. So it was great to work with all of those people, but on an entirely different project. So they had to start all over again, really reimagining this very complicated world.
When you first heard about the world, what did you think? This crazy world where cities eat each other.
Well, I didn't hear about it, I read about it. So it's like I read a story. I read an adventure, met all these characters and just kept reading it. So it was a pretty extraordinarily imagined world that PHILIP REEVE had created and then been shifted into screenplay form. So yeah, it reflects a great deal on the world in which we live. It's a world that's been almost entirely destroyed and has been rebuilt, and yet that world is coming to an end as well. So, and great characters. So it was something I don't think I'd seen before on film. So it's for young adults. It's a kind of great story about young people making their way in the world, and a world that's been constructed for them, but they don't necessarily agree with. So it's kind of got a lot of relevance.
Thank you so much. Congratulations on the film. Very nice to speak to you. Thank you. What is it like to be here at the Los Angeles premiere of this film?
Oh, it's phenomenal. It's so exciting.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, it's great to get to the end of the project and then enjoy all of this. So,
yeah, after almost 2 years of work, it's nice to see it all come together and get to have a little fun.
When you say 2 years, the truth is that doesn't even sound like that much time to do what you did. How did you create these incredible cities on wheels?
That's a loaded question, right?
Ken was the city guy.
Yeah, just lots of very, very amazing, talented artists working in conjunction. You just break it down piece by piece and then pray that after 2 years you have something that looks real.
What was the best part about working with Peter Jackson?
Just his vision, he's got a very strong vision, knows exactly what he wants. Yeah, he's just a great creative force and a pleasure to work with.
What are you most excited for audiences to experience with this film?
For me, it would be to experience Shrike and his emotive performance, since I was animation supervisor on that one. And we keyframed him entirely. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
No, I was just going to say, I think one of the greatest things about this movie is it's just something different. It's just something new. It's not something people are going to come to the theater and see something they've never seen before.
Every time what is involved. Thank you guys so much. Congratulations. What is it like to be here at the Los Angeles premiere of this film?
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's been a long time coming. You spend a lot of time in the trenches just trying to do your work, make sure you get it done right with great faith in the filmmakers, and so it's a total pleasure to be here with all my colleagues to really enjoy the fruits of the labor, I think.
Can you describe your character a little bit, because it's very interesting?
My character is is an ancient character, by far the oldest creature in this world at this point. He's a character who has, in a way, outlived his usefulness in this world. He was built. He's a resurrected man. He is hardwired, put inside a human body, but. What they neglected to do was you can't clean him out completely, and there are vestiges, shards of his of humanity, of memory, of guilt, of love, and these are things that he doesn't recognize. So he's a creature who kind of lives in a constant state of confusion, of static. His mind is kind of covered with sleep, except every now and again sort of an image from his past will come to him and shock him. He's got a singular purpose in this, which is he finds a little girl and he something compels him to take care of her, and when she leaves him, this some weird thing overtakes him, and he can't allow it to happen. So his journey is his relationship is exclusively with the character Hester Shaw, and they are, in some strange way, they represent each other's salvation. Yeah, he's a heartless, soulless character with the biggest heart and the biggest soul in the whole world of Mortal Engines.
I love that description. When you first read about this story, these cities that eat each other,
Yeah.
what was your impression?
Well, I really like it when somebody literalizes basically a metaphor, you know, and it really is. It's the cities themselves with these maws that open up and gobble up other cities is really pretty much the way the world works. I mean, they call it municipal Darwinism. Basically, it's a very concrete, literal manifestation of dog eat dog. The big prey on the small, and the bigger they get, the more they need to sustain themselves. So it's a system that's designed to collapse upon itself of its own weight at some point. But thankfully, the character of Shrike is completely oblivious and outside of all that. He's a complete lone wolf. Not a wolf. It's a predator, but not a wolf.
Well, go enjoy the party. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Congratulations on the film.
Thanks. Nice talking.
Nice talking to you, too. Thank you.
It's very surreal, you know. I used to live in Los Angeles a few years ago and I couldn't catch a cold, let alone a job. So here I am back 4 years later and it's like, hey, I'm the star of a film, Universal Pictures, and it's pretty surreal, to sum it up, yeah. It's pretty fantastic.
When you first read this story, what were your thoughts? How did you think they were going to be able to bring this to life, cities literally eating other cities?
I thought, well, thank God this epic visual is in the hands of a certain Mr. Peter Jackson, because if anybody can do it justice, he can. Because that's the thing, as soon as I found out about the project, you know, you start furiously Googling, and then all of this beautiful conceptual art from the book comes up, these incredible pictures of Hester Shaw sort of looking over the hunting ground and seeing London, sort of this big sort of cloud of smoke in the distance. And you just think this thing is going to make a hell of a movie, you know? And I'm in it. Isn't that great? So that's an added bonus.
So what is it like working with Christian River, who is Peter Jackson's protege?
Yeah, you know, it was really lovely. He has the trait that he's about as obsessive as Peter Jackson. So he's the right man to take the baton, you know? He's the right co-pilot, now pilot. So he worked me hard, you know? He worked me hard. I never went home thinking that we left a rock unturned. You know, we tried everything, did everything. He was incredibly thorough.
Well, go enjoy the fruits of your labors. Congratulations. How does it feel to be here at the Los Angeles premiere?
Oh, it's exciting. Very exciting. Yeah.
When you first heard about the story, what did you think? What were your thoughts about how this would be brought to life?
I couldn't imagine how it was possible to bring a moving city to life, and I was equally astounded when I saw what they have done. It's really incredible.
What is it like working with Christian River, who is Peter Jackson's protege?
Christian is such a giving, loving soul, and you would never guess it was his first time. I think because as a team they have worked together for so long, and they have such a huge family there of all these aspects and all the different craftsmen that are working as part of the team and the family. It was a great pleasure to work with him. It was so at ease. Everything was so at ease, you know, and it was unexpectedly like a very intimate experience in this big setting.
What was it like to stand in those sets? Because they look unbelievable.
You know, it's kind of like being in giant amusement parks where you have these little intricate worlds that are so fantastical and out of this world that you could never possibly imagine could exist. And what a privilege it was for us to be able to immerse ourselves, and it was easy to kind of, you know, imagine this place and be in it and be lost in it.
What are you most excited for audiences to experience with this film?
I'm excited for audiences to experience the Hester Anna Fang connection and how, as the two female protagonists, take charge and basically, you know, combine forces to face the biggest challenge on Earth, which is, not to give any spoilers away, but which is pretty climactic challenge.
Congratulations, you look gorgeous, enjoy the movie. What is it like to be here at the Los Angeles premiere of this film?
Mate, it's unreal.
It's mind-blowing.
Absolutely unreal. We're standing on the carpet of a blockbuster premiere to a Hollywood,
In a Hollywood thing, yeah.
unstoppable machine
Yes.
that is Mortal Engines. It's life-changing. It's incredible.
What was the most incredible part of shooting? You're on a Peter Jackson jet, you've got Christian Rivers, you've got these incredible sets. What do you remember most?
Mate,
Aw, meeting this guy.
I mean, you were
next to me.
right. I mean, the moment you find yourself on a green screen scat with Peter Jackson handing you a grenade and you're fighting giant robots 10,000 feet up in the sky, that's
Yeah.
kind of a life-changing moment right
Yeah,
there.
all the stunt sequences and fight sequences were
You're kidding. It's like being strapped into your favorite Disneyland ride, except actually living that for real. There's nothing that I can compare it to at all.
No.
What are you most excited for audiences to experience with this film?
The sheer size of the movie. The sheer size of this thing is...
The visual effects are stunning, absolutely stunning, and no one has seen this kind of world before. So I think
The
that
fact you're dealing with something actually truly original
Yeah.
is so rare. I looked at the slate of movies for next year, and it's all IP that's come before. It's Toy Story, it's superheroes we already know about. This is a brand new story. It's inspiring in a bunch of grounded ways in the world in terms of how you stop an unstoppable machine. It's top-notch young adult fiction.
and all the powerful women. Like there is no woman in this show that is not.
There was no one
forced
in the
to be
show that
reckoned
wasn't
with.
ready to take down
Yes.
a 20-foot monster.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Well, go take down some fun. Thank you guys so much. Congratulations.
Oh, it's pretty surreal. It's pretty crazy. I mean, it's wonderful. It's just, we brought the rain with us from Wellington. So how do you feel?
When I was reading some of the press notes, they were saying that Peter Jackson literally was looking for something specifically for you.
Oh, really?
What is that like?
Well, that's news to me. That's news to me. He originally wanted to direct this film, and then he sort of, got busy with a few other little films, that Hobbit trilogy. And so he asked me to do it. So I didn't realize he was actually, I didn't realize he had this on the shelf for 10 years for me. It makes me feel really special.
When you first heard about the concept, how did you think, yes, I can tackle this, I can create 7-mile-long cities?
I didn't. I just had to jump in the deep end and start swimming and hopefully not drown. And hopefully, the film that you go and see is proof of whether we drowned or not.
What are you most excited for audiences to experience?
I'm just, I'm excited for them to experience something new. Cinema's full of stuff that is repeats and remakes and franchises, which, and there's a lot of, wonderful craft there, and there's a lot of great stuff, but we just wanted to create something new. So hopefully they go and, they experience that.
Peter Jackson is in the pantheon of Hollywood greats. How would you describe him?
He's an innovator. In one word, he's an innovator. Everything he does, he seeks to innovate and push the boundaries. I'm just thrilled that he had the faith in me to tackle this film.
Congratulations, enjoy. Thank you so much.
See you,
Thanks.
bye.
How does it feel to be here at the Los Angeles premiere of this film?
It feels great. I've never experienced this before, and it's I don't know. It's raining, but we're under a tent, so it's great. No, I'm just excited. I'm excited about showing the film.
What are you most excited for audiences to experience?
It's just such an amazing world, I think, we've created, and I mean, PHILIP REEVE wrote, and that Peter and Christian and all his team, Fran, Philippa, have created, and the characters, Hester, such an amazing female heroine who's scarred in her face. I just think it's all new stuff that I'm very excited about everyone to see.
What is it like working with Peter Jackson?
It's great. He's a really down-to-earth, creative man who will get down on the floor and do whatever is needed to get the shot, or be part of whatever he's doing. So yeah, it's good.
Well, when you were on the floor here, it was these insane sets. What was it like working in this environment?
Well, in the film, I mean, it was like being in an amusement park or something. It was, I mean, we had like 120 sets or something that was just so beautifully made, like whole cities built up in the you know, we had Airhaven hung from the sky, Scuttlebutt, this like machinery that like would move around. It was just phenomenal.
Congratulations on the movie. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Were you hired because the cities are big and you are an ex-LUC?
Who knows?
How do you create something?
I think I was hired because I have a tendency to have a really original approach to films. And I've done that on Deadpool and Mad Max and a bunch of other movies. And I think what they wanted was a really original approach to the score. And I think eventually that's why I got hired. Rumor has it that the 5 major players who make this film all had to make a top 5 of their favorite composer that they want to hire. I wasn't on everybody's list at number 1, but I was on everybody's list. And that got me hired, I think.
That's very good. But how do you create a sound that matches the scope of this film?
Well, what was important for me, and that was also a very strong directive from the filmmakers, is that we need to follow the emotional development of Hester throughout the film. Whereas Mad Max was like a crazy world with crazy characters, and George had a very strong directive to me. It's like, when you score this film, you have to score the world. And then at certain points go personal to certain characters. Whereas with Mortal Engines, it was actually the other way around. So Christian and Peter and Fran said to me, yes, it's important we hear the world, but we have to follow our main character throughout the score. And therefore the score potentially became smaller at certain points and more emotional at certain points, because we had to follow her as a character.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Have a good
lot
night.
of fun.
You look gorgeous. Thank you. What is it like to be here at the Los Angeles premiere of Mortal Engines?
Okay, so I have to get this off my chest. My dad has flown here from New York for the night for about 12 hours, and it's warming my heart like you wouldn't believe. So it feels, I'm feeling all the feels, and it's all because of that guy over there.
What was it like when you first heard about this story? What did you think, and did your expectation match up with the reality of the film?
Oh my gosh, yes, 100%. When I first read it, I loved it immediately. I read the whole book in about 2 days. And then when I arrived in New Zealand on set and saw all of the concept art and all of the images of everything, it was exactly how I'd imagined, which is so weird because there's no reason for us to have all had the same imagination, but it was very satisfying. It was awesome. And the film, as it is right now, is such a justification to the book, which is really nice.
What is it like working with Peter Jackson?
A dream come true. An absolute dream. Not even a dream, out of this world.
What are you most excited for audiences to experience with this film?
Oh, to just see a world that we haven't seen before and have fun. I like when people can go to movies and have fun and just be taken to another world.
Well, go have fun, and your dad is a sweetheart for being here. That's so wonderful. And you look amazing. You're working a scrunchie. I mean, get it, girl? Thank you.
I love LA. It's always fun. This is the fun screening. You know, I mean, I love the way the audiences react to films here. So it's great. I mean, it's raining, but they all turned out, so that's awesome.
How do you tackle telling a story like this with cities literally eating each other?
Yeah, not easily, I can tell you. It took a while to get it right. We had to put a lot of thought into, a lot of work into it. But, you know, I'm lucky I get to work with Fran Walsh and Peter Jackson. So, you know, in the end, we just sat down, did what we normally do, which is just, you know, it's like a puzzle and you have to put the pieces together and make them fit, and start with a script that, you know, is going to attract a studio, a great studio like Universal. And luckily that happened, so.
Looking back on the film now, what are you most proud of?
I think our cast is amazing. I am so proud of Christian. This is his first feature film, but I'm also so proud of our cast. I mean, they really pulled it together and they worked together amazingly well. And I just, you know, I just hope the film, what I want is for audiences out there to find this film, because it's such a extraordinary world that you fall into when you go and watch it. It's got, it's got everything you want, I think, from a big picture event kind of movie. It's got an incredible score by Tom Holkenborg. So, I think people are going to be surprised, which I like. I like that we might hear sort of coming out of left field there.
Congratulations. It was so great to talk to you. Enjoy the movie.